There's something I need to bring forth for everyone to know because I feel as though it's important to everyone's health. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration warning: rodents, insects, and animal activity in food facility lead to FDA warning. On a news desk on January 23rd, now this is now like 5 days ago, as a part of its enforcement activities, the Food and Drug Administration sends warning letters to entities under its jurisdiction. Some letters are not posted for public view until weeks or months after they're sent. Business owners have 15 days to respond to the FDA warning letters. Warning letters often are not issued until a company has been given months to years to correct the problem. Florida Gold Food, LLC, in Kissimmee, Florida. A food firm in Florida is on notice from the United States Food and Drug Administration after rodent, insect, and animal activity were observed throughout the facility. In November 22nd, 2022, a warning letter the FDA described a May 31st. So it was May 11 through the 31st of 2022 inspection by the FDA in conjunction with the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, the FDACS of Florida Gold Foods LLC facility where they repack and distribute milled rice products in Kissimmee, Florida. The FDA's inspection revealed that the firm had serious violations of the current good manufacturing practice, hazard analysis, and risk-based preventive controls for human food regulations, and resulted in issuance of an FDA Form 483. Some of the significant violations are as follows. 4. Current good food manufacturing practice. The firm did not take effective measures to exclude pests from their packaging and holding areas and to protect against the contamination of food on the premises by pests. Specifically, rodents, insects, and animal activity were observed throughout the facility, including the following. Rodent activity observed in the building. Investigators observed apparent rodent excretion pellets, too numerous to count, on top of bulk totes of milled rice intended to be reworked, at least 30 out of approximately the redacted of the bulk totes milled rice for rework, had openings or broken areas on top of the bags where the rice was exposed. Investigators observed apparent rodent excreta pellets also inside processing equipment in building along the perimeter walls of the building, between pallets of repackaged bagged rice, totes of bulk rice, on empty cardboard boxes, on boxes with packaging material in buildings and building, and on bags to be used as product packaging that are fabricated and labels by the firm for use by other companies. In the building, investigators observed at least 5 live rodents throughout the processing and storage areas. Of the live rodents, 2 rodents were observed under the pallets of the bulk rice to be reworked in the area adjacent to processing equipment on the northern end of the building. The 2 rodents were observed in northern end of the building, running around the perimeter of the facility and in between pallet containing bulk totes of rice. Investigators also observed apparent newborn rodent lying between 50-pound bags of jasmine rice at the northern end of the building. Investigators observed numerous areas where apparent fluorescing rodent urine stains located in the northwest corner of the building on the floor next to the pallets of milled rice to be reworked on the west side of the building, on pallets bulk totes milled rice intended to be discarded and located within 2 feet of the bulk totes milled rice to be packaged and distributed. Apparent fluorescing rodent urine stains were also observed in the north building on old equipment to be used for parts and unused cardboard boxes which store packaging material, miscellaneous items, and packing materials such as bags or rice sacks. Insect activity throughout the building. Investigator observed dead and live insects too numerous to count, such as apparent moths, beetles, weevils, and spiders inside the processed product to be reworked. On the inside processing equipment, such as the machines, two machines where the equipment around both buildings were be used either in the milling process or being stored for parts. There were also apparent flies and gnats flying around inside and outside both buildings. Additionally, cockroaches were observed in the building and also around soiled pots and pans containing food residue in the employee shower room and at the southern end of the building. Other animal activity observed in the building. Investigators observed 4 or more live cats in the northern end of the building and apparent cat feces and urine throughout the warehouse. Also in the building, investigators observed 1 rodent carcass near the packaging equipment on the east side of the building. Investigators observed a cat running from building to building with a rodent in its mouth. FDA analyzed several samples for filth which were collected during the inspection from various areas of the firm's warehouse facility, and the samples of their Florida Gold brand 2-pound bags of rice. These samples were submitted to the FDA labs for analysis. Results from the Florida Gold brand 2-pound bags of rice demonstrated that this product was adulterated with various species of insects, larvae, pupa, and adult stages, including multi-stages of dead beetles, sawtooth grain beetles, red flower beetles. Further, the samples collected within the facility resulted in numerous filth findings, including the presence of rodent excretion pellets of the size of implicating a rat, fecal material with internal cat and dog hairs, rat, mouse hairs, 2 feathers identified as songbird feathers, multi-stage beetles, adult and larvae, and insects including but not limited to flies and moths. The filth samples further demonstrated the presence of rodent and insect activity throughout the facility through the presence of rodents, hairs, and in-pellet morphology, as well as confirmation of various species of insects at larva and pupal and adult stages. The firm did not maintain their plant in a clean and sanitary condition and keep their plant in repair to prevent food from becoming adulterated. And sanitary conditions around the facility demonstrated that the sanitation and housekeeping operations were inadequate because the facility provided food sources and pest harboring areas for rodents. Other pests, in addition, inadequate maintenance of parts and facility allowed for potential pest entry and harborage areas within the facility. In the building, the investigators observed the following: filth, debris, and pests were on and in milled rice processing equipment located on and at the building. Numerous pieces of milled rice processing equipment were in disrepair with tape and peeling paint on food contact surfaces. There were numerous holes and gaps on interior walls. A hole approximately redacted on the wall near the packaging equipment on the east side of the building. There are holes leading to the exterior of the facility, including a hole approximately at the top edge of the vent pipe in the processing equipment at the northern corner. The door nearest the southwest corner of the building had a gap approximately, it just says redacted, inches high along the bottom of the door. Also, they observed filth and debris. So instead of going on, I will post a link to this article in the description of this video. I suggest you hit the description because you're going to want to read through the rest of this. So since last May of 2022, between the 11th and the 31st, they obviously put out a letter to this facility holding rice. And this is just now becoming public information from May to January. That's it. I have no more to say.